journey of the narrow road, and those who've gone before us line the way, cheering on the faithful, encouraging the weary, their lives a stirring testament to God's sustaining grace. Surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us run the race not only for the prize, but as those who've gone before us, let us leave to those behind us the heritage of faithfulness passed on through godly love. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion light their way. May the footprints that we leave lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. After all our hopes and dreams have come and gone, and our children sift through all we've left behind, may the clues that they discover and the memories they uncover become the light that leads them to the road we each must find. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion light their way. May the footprints that we leave lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion light their way. May the footprints that we leave lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful.
I had just gotten married, and I was real curious to how Mom and Daddy had met. Daddy and I was in the garden, and I said, Daddy, tell me about when you and Mama had met and married. So he said that he was preaching, and he'd been off preaching, but his wife had died, and he had someone taking care of the children for him. When he got back, the children were gone, and he didn't know what he was going to do. So he laid across the bed and he was crying. And he said he had a vision that his wife had come up to him and put her arms on him and said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "Well, I don't know what to do." He said, "I have these children to take care of, and I don't know what I'm going to do." And she said, "Well, you remember we had made a promise to each other that we would neither one remarry if something happened to us." So she said that she wanted to release him of the promise they had made and for him to marry someone else or to help him take care of the children. So in this vision that he was having, Mama, which is Charity, was standing there in the door. And he'd never seen her before, but when he went to church the next Sunday, she was sitting there playing the organ. And the young people would always go to each other's house for dinner. and it fell in the, that Mama and Daddy was walking, they all walked to the houses, and they were walking together, and they started corresponding with each other.
Hey, Paul and I was, that evening we had got permission to go down to one of our neighbors, and so we found us a couple of cigarette butts. So we was walking down this dirt road, and we was puffing away. All at once we heard Daddy calling us. You know what happened? He tore our rear end up with a switch.
Oh, one time Pauline and Jail and Ray and we had an old grapevine we used to swing across the ditch, and Daddy and Mama told us never to swing across that grapevine. So Pauline and I had got on the grapevine, and he was facing one way and I was facing the other, and we pushed off to go to the other bank. And I could see the top of Daddy's head coming across those bushes, and I just dropped off and dropped in the ditch. And Polly landed over on the other side, and Daddy come around the corner just as he landed. Needless to say what happened, you know.
I think one of my happiest moments that I can remember that has always meant a lot to me, and that was the time that I had Hazel to give me a permanent. I'd always wanted curly hair, and after she got her beautician license in her shop, she'd take me home with her and gave me a permanent. And I think that was one of my biggest thrills I can remember when I was a kid. And one other time that she gave me a sweater, and I wore that, it was her ball sweater. I wore that sweater for 2 or 3 years through my high school years. When I wore a hole in the elbow, I pulled it up. I didn't think anybody saw the hole, but I wore that for years, and I enjoyed it, and she will never, never know how much what she gives to me and encouraging me all through my high school. And I love her. I love all the girls and all the boys. Mean a whole lot to me.
I remember the time that Napoleon and I went down to a little creek and we was fishing, and Napoleon found a cigar and he smoked it, and he got real white, real pale, real sick, and we got to the house, and my mother asked him what had he done, and he said, well, he just got sick, and come find out, she started bathing his face with a wet rag, so he just definitely sick, and come find out that he had smoked a cigar, and so he really got sick. Then I remember a time that we was up visiting our neighbors. I was just a real small kid, and we come back one night about 10 o'clock, and so we were walking down the dirt road, and some old dog got after us, and we was running just hard as we could to the house, between our neighbor's house, trying to outrun the dog, and that was kind of funny because we was all real afraid.
So when we lived at Mixon, close to Troop, well, we lived there, and one time while her, always clowning around, well, she's in front of the mirror and clowning around, and so she was told to go to bed. It's in the summertime, and the bedroom door was open, so she got in bed with me, and she said, Trina, said, someone's under our bed. I said, oh, it's not either. She said, well, I'll hold my breath. And so I reached over to see she's holding her breath. So I got up, we got up, went across the hall where Daddy was, and come back, and his neighbor's dog was under the bed. And then another time, we had a dog, I guess, followed me and her and Frenchie down in the woods, and he started having a fit. they was gonna climb the tree, and I didn't think I could, so I come running back to the house, and we out outside toilet, and so I went in there, and the dog went on to the house. And then there's another time after we moved to Tyler there, well, we had milked a bunch of cows. So Walter one day morning put on Daddy's old shoes, and we went to milk, and old cow she was milking kept switching her tail. So Walter got tired of it. So she yanked the cow's tail, and she had to run and leap over the cow piles. Me and French was just dying laughing at her. About that time, two of the neighbors' boys down the street come along there going to work and seen her jump in those cow piles.
We was walking down this little lane, and these two little puppies run through our legs, and Paul hollered, "Mad dog, mad dog," and when he did, well, Rex took off and went off and left us. Well, it was Warner and Paul and I left there, and I was lagging behind because I was small, and Paul said, "Come on here," and he grabbed me by the hand, and I started making big giant steps because he was pulling me, and then he grabbed Warner's hand, and we got home. Well, Rex already had all the windows down and the door shut, and had Daddy and Mama up, so that was quite an excitement. We had a lot of fun times with the dogs.
No, I never was scared, when I was growing up. Now, Rex was real scary when he was a kid, but I never was. One time I was about 12, 13. When we first moved to Texas, we had a bunch of cows, and they down below the hill from our house, the old milk cows down there, and the neighbor's old bull got in our pasture and went down there trying to make the old cows get up. I grabbed me a stick, and down that hill I went after him. I didn't worry he'd butt me or what, but I made him run. So I never was afraid of anything.
Daddy, one year, played April Fool on my owner. We had a little shed there, and they were in there, and Daddy was telling Wilder, kill that rat. And she was trying to get away from it. So afterwards, well, he said April Fool. So I had never known Dad doing that, but it was real funny. We got a big kick out of it, and I don't know whether Wilder remembers that or not.
I always wondered how she could be so jolly, and she'd had so much. And since she's been sick, she didn't never know she's sick, and she just never complains and just goes right on. So still got that smile on her face, always laughing and cutting up. Sometimes she called me when she had that, back surgery, and she called me. She wanted me to take her to the doctor. I called her and I said, "Well, I can't take you to the doctor." She said, "Why not?" I said, "Well," I said, "I'd come down there and pick you up," and I said, "I'd start driving through Terrell, and you'd be laying in the back seat of my car, and I'd be just laughing up a storm. They'd take me and put me in the hospital because they'd think I was crazy. I said, they couldn't see you, and you'd just be having me in stitches." I never could go any worse with her that I didn't laugh the whole time. So she started laughing. She said, "Well, I would promise not to talk."
It was on Saturday. I asked those guys, I said, that tobacco, you get food, anything free. And I asked them, I said, that chewing tobacco, I'd like to have a plug of that. And the guy said, "You can't have that." And one of the other guys said, "Oh," I said, "he's a water boy." I said, "Give him a plug of it." He gave me a plug of that chewing tobacco. And I chewed that tobacco. I got so sick, I vomited. It was on Saturday evening. Paul, the levee come in behind the house, and I was out there laying on that levee, I told Paul, go get me a biscuit. I was so sick.
But I think about it a lot that I never did tell Mama how much it meant, to have her, to be raised like I was, because we was raised to love each other, and I think it just kind of went through us. We stuck to us as loving parents. So and it's like, I can remember Paul when he was sick and all of us waiting on him, and him taking his walking stick and grabbing us by the leg or something, if we didn't do something, we'd, aggravate him or something. And he'd wait until we'd walk by, and he'd take that walking stick and grab the handle part, wrap us by the leg and pull us to him. We didn't get by very much with him. It just, I was only 8 years old when Paul got sick. So I just, things like that kind of stick in your mind. You think about how much he went through, and he was only 16, himself, and to be so sick. And,
my mom and dad was hard on me, but at least I thought they were. But they've done what they thought they should do, and they got me where I'm at today, I feel like. And I appreciate that. I've told it many times, that I thought I'd been hard on, And I've probably been hard on my kids, but it's because you love them and you're trying to make sure they come out good in the long run. But, my brothers and sisters, we're all very, very close, and I like that. I think it's great when you're close to each other. When you come visit, you get a real warm welcome.
But then I'd like to say what I really think of my mother and my daddy, or Mama. I'm really glad the way that they raised us. They raised us to go to church. They raised us to work hard and to be trustworthy. And I really appreciate the way I was raised. I don't know about the rest of the kids, but to me, I am glad that Mama would go out to the field with us, and we had to hoe our rows right, and if we did not, then we had to go back over it and do it until we got it right. If we did the dishes and we didn't wash them good or dry them good, then we had to go back and do it. So I was taught to do things and do it at the right way, and I appreciate all that Mama and Daddy did for us, and I know they sacrificed an awful lot for us. And I love them, and I just wish I had an opportunity to tell them again, and someday I expect to let them know that I really and truly loved them. And when I was young, I didn't appreciate it. I didn't feel bad about it, but I didn't learn to appreciate things like as you get older. And I guess that's about it. And I love all my brothers and sisters and all my nieces and nephews and everybody.
Right now, I think DeVille's a great family. It's a closeness, real close family, and there's a lot of love there, and it means a whole lot. That's what I told my wife Henny, that we were very close, and it was hard to understand that, but she's been around them now a little while, and she's telling me that she appreciates them, appreciates me more since she met them, because she knows I was telling the truth, and she sees that now. She makes us closer together. And me, that's very important to have a close family.
I'm old-fashioned. I love the moonlight. I love the old-fashioned things. The sound of rain upon a window pane, the starry song that April sings. This year's fancies are passing fancies, but sighing sighs and holding hands, these my heart understands. I'm old-fashioned, but I don't mind it. That's how I want to be, as long as you'll agree to stay old-fashioned. I love old-fashioned things. Sound of rain upon a window pane, the starry song that April sings. This year's fancies are passing fancies, but sighing sighs and holding hands, these my heart understands. I'm old-fashioned, but I don't mind it. That's how I want to be, as long as you'll agree to stay old-fashioned with me.
For all I'd been blessed with in this life, there was an emptiness in me. I was imprisoned by the power of gold. With one honest touch, you set me free. Let the world stop turning, let the sun stop burning. Let them tell me love's not worth going through. If it all falls apart, I will know deep in my heart the only dream that mattered had come true. In this life I was loved